Good evening, Reggae Boyz fans. I hope all is well with everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in for another evening of Reggae Boyz commentary, another Thursday evening. I am truly grateful, grateful to have you all watch this video each and every Thursday evening. Quite a bit to discuss. As usual, we'll take your comments and or questions in the next couple of minutes and we'll analyze them quite shortly. Before we do that, just a little secret. Ta-da! I'm not blind, it's just when I'm using my phone or a laptop or a tablet, the glare bothers me. So that's why I have this. But I'm completely fine without it. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. All is well. It's just when I'm using my phone, my laptop, or tablet that I need to have it on because I'm close to these devices. So don't worry. All is well. Trust me. Don't worry. Just since the device I'm using for this recording is close to me, that's why I'm using it. So I'll get to your comments and questions quite shortly, but all is well. Don't worry, guys. All is well. Dr. Reggae Boyz commentary. So, let's start with the Reggae Girlz perspective, ladies first, and then head over to the gentlemen. Denisha Blackwood has signed a deal with the Houston Dash in the National Women's Soccer League. This move came about after she was released by the Orlando Pride. So this is her second club in the National Women's Soccer League. So she joins Havana Solon, she joins Jana Matthews, she joins Sydney Schneider and Konya Plummer as other Jamaican internationals in the league. A lot of talk in England amongst fan channels, amongst different stakeholder groups in England about where Khadija Shaw could go. As we know, her contract is going to end at the end of the season in May. No talks as yet regarding a new deal from Bordeaux, so it's either one of two things. Either they're waiting until the summer to offer a new deal, or it's a scenario where Khadija Shaw has rejected a new deal and she's exploring opportunities. So we'll just have to wait and see where that is concerned, and hopefully she'll be able to make a decision, and it's England. But at this point in time, it's just Chelsea that have shown an interest in terms of an inquiry into Khadija Bunny Shaw, but Manchester United, without a shadow of a doubt, like the player, but are thinking about their overseas-based options and saying, do we have to let go one? Should we let go Christian Press, Hoto Bin Heath, Havana Fuso, just to bring in Bunny Shaw? Well, it certainly would be a wise investment, wouldn't it? So we'll have to wait and see over the next couple of months. On the national team now for the men's side of things, Dane Kelly. Dane Kelly is heading to Israel. Yes, he joins Kevon Frater in Israel. So there'll be two Jamaican internationals plying their trade in Israel. Siobhan Marsh and Craig Foster, they're heading over to El Salvador. Yeah, Siobhan Missy Marsh hasn't necessarily taken the strides that he should have over the past 10 years. You know, the first time I saw this guy was playing Manning Cup for Calabar 2010, 2011. Him and Kyle Scott were the miles above what was locally. Had a loan spell in Finland, or I should say a couple of loan spells, but he just hasn't kicked on. And that's the reality of what you're going to find with some players. They're just not going to be able to kick on. I think he's a player capable of playing minimum in the United Soccer League or playing it again in Scandinavia. But Central America, still an avenue where he can earn an income, an avenue where he can develop some technical aspects of his game, and a place where he can just have a fresh start. And I'm hoping that that first start will allow him to be able to really progress forward into the setup. So hopefully, all being well, he settles down and does outstanding things, you know. Craig Foster, as we know, you put the ball in front of him, he'll put it in the back of the net. The question is how often will he do that? 1 in 3, 1 in 4. We'll wait and see where that is concerned. So, and Alvas Powell, Al Hilal in the Sudanese Premier League. Yeah, interesting move, isn't it? Well, when a guy is offering you 5,000 US dollars a week, you can't say no, though, can you? Not at all. Absolutely not. I know, I'm still trying to get accustomed to these, Like I said, it's just for usage of laptop, phone, and tablet. But other than that, I'm good. But you see, right now, with the device that I'm using for this recording, and the brightness of it, there's a bit of irritation on this side. So that's the reason I have on this. Other than that, all is well. All is well otherwise. I'm not blind I don't need it to read, as I said, I just need it to just avoid the glare that is in front of me, the brightness, but otherwise all is well. So I'm doing quite well where that is concerned. In another couple of weeks or so, I'm going to do a video about Jamaica's performances in the 21st century. Some performances to savor, some performances to reflect on, our Gold Cup runs, our Caribbean Cup runs, so you can stay tuned for that. And I'll actually show you the board of it as well, and those sorts of performances. So you can stay tuned for that. I'm going to work on that quite shortly. Other national players that you guys have been asking about of late, Bayer Leverkusen and Leicester City have not been able to agree on a fee as yet for Demarai Gray. Rabel Morrison is still actively searching for a club. Same for Peter Lee Vassell. And it's great news to see that Javane Brown and Justin McMaster are looking forward to the challenge of playing in Major League Soccer. Now, onto a point that I'm quite miffed about, or livid, you could say. Luton Shelton passed away 6 days ago, going to be a week now. And all now, the Jamaica Football Federation hasn't posted on any of their social media channels condolences to the family and friends of Luton Shelton. For me, I find that quite embarrassing. Honestly. Whether you name Marcus Bean, that played 6 minutes for Jamaica, or Ian Pepe Goodison, who is the all-time leading cap appearance maker with 120. Luton Shelton deserves the respect, deserves the credit. And like you saw in my tribute video to him about a week ago, you would see that I said that I think that the National Premier League locally needs to honour him, and by honouring him, renaming the Golden Boot Award the Luton Shelton Golden Boot Award. That way his name, his legacy will always be remembered because of the goals that he scored for us. And like I said, there's countless of them. 2005 Gold Cup, 2011 Gold Cup, World Cup qualifying. 32 of his 35 goals came in matches where Jamaica won. So when he scores, he has a positive impact on the result. Isn't that interesting? January 26 was a couple of days ago. And why is that date significant? Well, it's significant especially in the case of Siobhan Marsh, because changes are made for the United States where you need to have a PCR test or an antigen test within 72 hours of your flight departure. And that is important because if you don't have it, you can't board the plane. So this is something that Jamaican footballers will have to get, whether they're going on trials, loan deals, heading into North America, or even Europe as well. I mean, the government of Jamaica still has the travel ban on the UK until March 1. So at this point in time, where North America is concerned, we're just going to have to ensure that we have everything in place where the testing is concerned. So the players go to the different approved locations. Make sure it's approved, because if it's not approved, then it's not credited, and and you might not be able to board the plane. So that's why I say make sure it's a place that is reputable, a place that is credible, and somewhere where you can get your testing done quite efficiently. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Sound Beast Official, Simon Blessing, big up. Rocky 5 says 100. Ibrook Palmer says run it, we are live. Rocky 5 says always looking forward, thank you very much. Bravo Rage Squadron, will McGee get a loan before the window closes? That's what they're hoping. They're unable to find a club at this point in time, but that's what they're hoping. You see, for Cassiopen, it's sort of a win-win. If they send him out on loan, another club pays his wages. But if they keep him, then they have him in the under-23s. So for them, they're not quite concerned about him. They have him on a 4-year deal, so it's another 2 years I think he has on his contract. So for me, it's a win-win for Cassiopen, whatever decision that I have to make, you know? Kevin Reed says, up, Simon. I say, up. Man's Not Hot Pep says, what's going on for football? Well, the Prime Minister of Jamaica has given the green light for sports in Jamaica, but on a gradual basis, not on a wholesale basis where all 55 sporting disciplines can get going at the same time. But the leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, says that the Prime Minister should give special attention to the restart of the Red Stripe Premier League without spectators. We're now at the end of January, right? And like I said, I'm going to be quite frank with you, like I've been quite frank with you since the end of last year. I don't see local football restarting in Jamaica before the end of February. I'm being absolutely realistic. So the Prime Minister says in 2 weeks we can analyze the situation, right? 2 weeks' time, we're looking at February 11, right? And I would say, all right, the JFPL, PFJL, Professional Football Jamaica Limited, have acquired 80% of the sponsorship already, and they still have another 20% to achieve. I would say in the 2 weeks before the end of February, they can acquire that, have a fixture list, and then decide, are they going to have triple headers, double headers, quadruple headers? They'll have to analyze all of those things and put it into place. So hopefully, you know, that can all be analyzed and put on the table. Is Ravel signing anytime soon? No. Up to the minute weather. February 11 friendly versus Panama. No deal. Not friendly. No, there's negotiation, but nothing is confirmed as yet. Would you call up Kevon Freighter? To be quite frank with you, no. I think there's more to his game that he can achieve, and I think there are right now 23 better footballers than him. I would say let him continue doing what he's doing. Let him flourish in this environment. Help his team qualify for the Europa League or the preliminary rounds of the UEFA Champions League, and then we can talk from there. Let him settle and gradually take his time. But right now, I wouldn't say he's deserving of a call-up. No, 4 goals in 16 matches, I wouldn't say is something to rave about or write home about. It's decent, but for me, I still think there's more to be done from him. Wagwan Simon, how are you tonight? I am doing well, thank you very much. I had a productive day, and I'm having a productive week, and I am taking things one day at a time, and I am grateful. Yeah. What's happening with Kayla McCoy? Tell me. Ibrook Palmer says local players might have 1 month to prove themselves for selection for the next friendly in March. Yeah, that's the reality. And you're talking about best case scenario 4 or 5 matches. Is that enough? I don't think so, to be honest with you. I don't think so. Like I said, if the league starts at the end of February, I honestly don't think more than 5 players can get in. A centre forward, a third string goalkeeper, a centre half, a central midfielder, maybe even 2 central midfielders. Travis says Khadijah Shaw, that is, should stay at Bordeaux. That is where she get bus. You know, Khadijah has spent, this is her second season at Bordeaux. She's established herself in the French league. She scores goals consistently. She's been the Player of the Month award on numerous occasions now. She is ready for England. Physically, mentally, emotionally ready for England. She has ambitions of being a FIFA Women's Player of the Year one day. She has ambitions of playing in the UEFA Women's Champions League. She could do that with Bordeaux. But her goal, her dream, her ambition is centered around England. And that's exactly where she wants to go. It wouldn't surprise me if Bordeaux gave her a new contract. But if she ever moves to England, then we can start putting this girl in the same breath as the best woman in the planet. I'm telling you right now. USA has a match on Sunday. Yeah, they're playing Trinidad. That is correct. Up to the minute weather says, any comments on the great fall of Cuba and Trinidad? Well, Trinidad's demise came, you could say, around 2001, even though they got to the World Cup in 2006. Well, it's been hills and valleys for them, you could say, but post 2006, it has been a challenging journey. The chopping and changing of coaches, the administration, it just hasn't gone right. Even though the TT Pro League is a league that pays well, yeah, football in Trinidad has just been disappointing. And we know the situation in Cuba right now. You know, players can't survive on $40 a week. They can't, so they have to explore their options. And when they do explore their options, they're not called back to the national team. Lester Murray wasn't called back after. Osvaldo Alonso wasn't called back. There's this player that plays trade in Mexico quite recently. Hasn't been called back. I'll have to do some more research on it, but for me, the best player should take the field at all times. Bravo Rage Squadron says, Terry Fenwick now ramp with Trinidad. Look how much players he has recruited, and we can't even contact Ivan Toney or Isaac Hayden. In fact, Terry Fenwick even contacted me, because he was looking at Tristan Abrahams at Newport County, so he's serious. He's serious about what he wants to achieve. Bad we bad Gaza. No local players for March window, only overseas players. I understand what you mean, but I still feel a third string keeper should travel. I still think a backup centre half should travel, and I still think an attacking player should travel wherever we're playing and whoever we're playing in March. What do you think about our players playing in USL and Africa? When it comes to competing with the best in the region, it doesn't help us as a country, says BM. I think you have to look at it on a player-by-player basis. That's my honest opinion. Nicu Daly, young, hungry, needs playing time. No problem with him playing in the USL. Junior Flemings, who's at a different part of his career, at a different chapter of his career, honestly should be playing minimum in Scandinavia right now. But in USL another season. Why? But every player has to make their decision. So it really depends on the player, honestly. But for Alvas is going to be playing in the African Champions League, which is quite competitive. Even more competitive than the CONCACAF Champions League. So in a way, that is an upgrade, and it is a one-year contract. There are going to be eyes all over him. BBC carries the African Champions League, so people and clubs and agents in Europe will be able to watch him. So at the end of this one-year deal, he can take away himself and go somewhere else. So I'm okay with it on a one-year deal. If it was a long-term deal, then I would have an issue with it, but this is a one-year deal. Ibrook Palmer says, do you think the Jamaica Premier League can be as popular as the EPL is among the general Jamaican fan, or at least as popular as schoolboy football? I'm not sure in terms of the EPL, honestly, but we still have a long way to go where the National Premier League is concerned, where players are remunerated, the surfaces, and clubs making their fans feel part of the club, making them feel like valuable stakeholders. I want to go inside a club shop and purchase a Constant Spring FC jersey with my name Preston on the back. Or buy a jersey with William Price's name on the back, the goalkeeper. But we're not at that stage. I can buy a Harbourview jersey, yes. I can buy an Arnott Gardens jersey, yes. But we're not at a point where I can go to the store and say, I want Preston on the back of the jersey. We're not at that stage as yet. Still have some distance to go. Look like QPR a take back Ravel. There's discussions. Mr. Galaxy says, yeah, the JFF should really post something for Luton. Well, I agree. They should post something. They have a book at their head office where you can sign, but yeah, nothing on social media. Simon Wagwan for Anil Fisher. Nothing. Wayne Carnegie says, Simon, up. I say up. Raquelme Desnude. Simon, big up yourself. Love the show. Bailey swap deal for Pepe. Let's go, you Gunners. Nah. Leon Bailey doesn't want to play for a London team. Nah. Mr. Galaxy says, I know there's a midfielder who plays for Toronto FC midfield and another FC Dallas winger. I also expect them to call up John Bostock, I guess. Oh, you're talking about Trinidad? Yeah. Sound Beast Official. Simon, I have utter respect for you and I appreciate the commitment you have for the Reggae Boyz. I want to know if you have any type of dialogue with any of the players we are recruiting, like Roof and Gray. Specifically, those individuals, like I said before, Roof, Andre Gray, Liam Moore, they're basically on the final lap of their marathon of getting the Jamaican passports. So you don't have to worry about those. Isaac Hayden, I have spoken to, and I can tell you, he is interested. However, he wants the JFF to sit down and speak with him about how important he would be to the national setup. And I gave the contact details to Roy Simpson, to Dalton Wint. So now the ball is in the JFF's court to reach out to them. I have nothing more to say. Dwayne Morrison says, big up. And I say, big up. Warren Porter says, first time on your live. Blessings. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you tune in each and every Thursday. Do you know if Jamaica is contacting Max Aarons? No, we're not. What's up currently with Omar Holness? Javon Henry, thanks very much for tuning in, brother. Really, really appreciate it. We go way back, way back, man. Omar got a new agent recently, and this new agent is exploring opportunities north of the border for him. Specifically, the likes of Queen of the South, a couple of Scottish Championship clubs. There's a couple in England as well, but he's exploring some options in Scotland for him. He hasn't signed a new contract. Darlington has offered him a new contract, but he hasn't signed it as yet. So it shows that Omar wants to move up from the 6th tier of English football to a much higher one. Up to the minute weather says, if we qualify for the World Cup, should we be looking at round of 16 or settling with qualifying? To be quite honest with you, if we get our best 11 players available to us, I see no reason why Jamaica can't get to the round of 16 of the World Cup. And in the World Cup, sometimes you need a bit of fortune. Sometimes you need the luck of the draw. Sometimes you need a yellow card suspension to go into your favour. And just like that, a penalty shootout. And just like that, you're in the quarterfinals. Just ask Costa Rica about that. But I do think my dream has always been to see Jamaica in the quarterfinals of our World Cup. I know my country's ability, I know my country's limitations, and I know what we can achieve. And I think a quarterfinals run in a World Cup is something that can be achieved if we get our best players together. Yeah. Wiggy D says, what is the relative between Whitmore and O'Neill Fisher? Fisher always starting games when his quality not up to standard to even make the squad. They're not related, my friend. They're not related at all. Yeah, Fisher, to me, doesn't start at fullback for me. Whether left back or right back, doesn't make my 23-man squad, to be quite frank with you. Energy, pace, but we have better. That's the reality. And I know Damian Lowe is not going to like me for that comment, but it is what it is. Bravo Rage Squadron says Nicholson is struggling. It's an interesting one because he starts off the season well. September, October starts off well, plateaus a bit January, and then picks it up again March, April, May. So it's fine. It's his second or third season in Belgium. It's his second season in Belgium. Second season, you're finding your feet. Players, different opposition have clips on you now, so they actually know what you're bringing to the table. So it's about him to fine tune what he's doing, hone his craft, work a bit harder, be in the gym a little bit more. The goals will come. I'm not concerned about that. My concern is how often do they come? I feel every 1 in 4 chances he puts away. But if he really wants to be a player that can apply straight in Germany, England, he needs to put the ball in the back of them to 1 in 3 chances, or even 1 in 2. Better conversion is needed from him. Devon Smith says you should be the coach of Jamaica. I think I would make a decent analyst, a decent match analyst, and a decent director of football. But coach, I could assist a coach with strengths, weaknesses, analytics of the opposition, recruitment, the database of all the players available to us. That's me, 100%. Who would you like to see as president of the JFF? I don't know. I think losing to Lech Poznan really dented Charleroi confidence. Yeah, they started off like a house on fire, didn't they? 6 wins from 6 games. The Europa League was a dip, and things haven't worked out quite well. They started to pick up form a couple of weeks ago, but still a lot of work to be done. Yeah. Michael Linder says, Ollie's at the wheel. Ollie's at the wheel. Tell me, how good does it feel? We've got Sanchez. No, we don't. Paul Pogba and Fred. Marcus Rashford, he's Manc born and bred. The greatest of English football. We've won it all. MUFC. Ollie's at the wheel. Tell me, how good does it feel? We've got Sanchez, Paul Pogba and Fred. Marcus Rashford, he's Manc born and bred. The greatest of English football. We've won it all. Bruno. He came from Sporting like Cristiano. He goes left, he goes right, makes defenders look. He's our Portuguese Magnifico. Bruno. He came from Sporting like Cristiano. He goes left, he goes right, makes defenders look. He's our Portuguese Magnifico. Yeah, that's right. I know my songs. Rival to West Bromwich Albion. There was just informal talks, nothing serious there. Do you think that Orgil still has something to offer? Of course, of course. Devo Orgil is needed, especially in those wider areas, to hunt possession, work hard, regain possession. Andre Gray is just going to be a bit more physical than Orgil in those elements, but Orgil is a valuable member of the squad and one of the first of the 23 names in my squad. Not the first in the 11, but certainly one in the 23. What about Ivan Toney? Any contact with him? No. Is he Javanese penalty? I didn't, honestly. I did not see it. LOL Martial. Tony Marshall came from France. The English press said he had no chance. 50 million down the drain. Tony Marshall scores again. Something like that. That's the Tony Marshall time. So I did the Tony Marshall one, did the Bruno Fernandes, did the Ollies at the wheeled one. So that's 3. Yeah, 3. Yeah, there we go. Wayne Rooney. I saw my mate the other day, said to me, seen the white ballet. So I asked, who is he? Goes by the name of Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney, Wayne Rooney. He goes by the name of Wayne Rooney. Yeah, that's my baller. Yeah, that's my baller. LOL, too bad City gonna win the league. I don't know. They might. Sing it, yeah, Simon. Sing it. Bruno, Bruno, Bruno. He came from Sporting like Cristiano. He goes left, he goes right. Makes defenders look. He's our Portuguese Magnifico. Well, that is true. Saka is performing better than Greenwood. I don't have any complaints about that. Any new club interested in Ravel? New club? No. No. Yeah, I'd agree with you, Mr. Galaxy, but I'm not going to throw away Devo Orgil because I still think that there's a role to be played. Well, Andre Gray will bring that physical element that I'm looking forward to seeing in the national setup. Orgil, for me, has been there, done that in CONCACAF. He'll put his head in places where most people won't. So that's why that grit, that determination, is the intangibles are not something that you can find every day. So for me, Orgil is part of a 23-man squad. If we get Roof and Gray, who would you play centre forward? Roof. Goes well looking up. Holgate of Everton, I heard he was interested. Well, he said he was considering his options. That's what he said. When Orgil is on the field, he's everywhere and still manages to put shots on goal. Thank you. 110%. You guys just hit the nail on the head right there. Some bright people watch Reggae Boyz commentary, you know. Some extremely bright people. I'm so proud of every single one of you because you guys are so knowledgeable about football. I like to talk to people that are knowledgeable about football, I'm telling you. Let me tell you guys something. Like, some mornings after I read the sports news, I talk to Jenny, and some of the questions that she ask me, I'm like, does this woman even watch football? I don't like talking to people that don't watch football or have little knowledge about football. Honestly, it frustrates me. So when I talk to you guys, people that know football and love football, yeah, man, I like that very much. So some bright people in the comments, man. I'm so proud of every single one of you. You guys are on the same page there. Some of you sometimes ask some interesting questions, but I'll tell you what. You guys are amazing. Every single one of you. Big up yourself. You guys are outstanding people. I know my patois is not the best, but don't watch that. I'm speaking English, so I'm just working with that. So, like I say, it's nice to talk to bright people that know football. Yeah. Well, remember, Ravel is a free agent, so even if it's not February 1st, he can sign. So that's not a concern from me. Kenan Davis is a yard man. Yes, he is. Jamaica is third in CONCACAF. That is correct. Do you think Ravel, at anywhere near his best, can start in any other 20 Premier League team? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Sure. Ross, come on. Jenny know it herself. Jenny just watch a one match and thinks that she know ball. And that's how I go. In fact, I hope she watches it. Black Ink Spider. We need a formation that complements the players. Always, I think we should stop playing player because of name. Some of these players are just there because of their image, no hunger in the game. Like I said, I would agree with you that in the past, especially under Schaefer, you had members of the squad that were there strictly to boost their Instagram follows, to get 1,000 likes for their pictures, and just to have on their resume that they're Jamaican international to bump up their CV and bump up their transfer value. Well, based on the current setup, and I'm speaking specifically about UK based players, the 6 names that we have called each and every single Thursday, plus the English based players currently part of the setup, the Hectors, the Morrisons, the Mariapas, the Gregley, these are not prima donnas. I can tell you that as a fact. As a fact. So with no RSPL, how will the local players get in the squad? Well, like I said earlier, I'm not sure when you tuned in. I think only 3 or 4 will make the March friendlies, or friendly. Yeah, and Taxi is on form. And Wes Morgan is in the comments. Big up, bruv. Wesley Nathan Morgan. Bala. Andy McNally says, big up yourself, Simon. Big up. Siobhan Givens. Revel want too much ball, yeah, man. Yeah. I don't know why we're 5th in CONCACAF rankings index. Yeah, you see, CONCACAF rankings index, they take into account the 2018 World Cup qualifiers, and we didn't qualify for the final round of the 2018 World Cup qualifiers, so that's why our rating points is not high. Give me a list of Premier League teams that Revel can start in, please. Revel, Fulham, Brighton, Burnley. Can do jobs in each of those teams. We'll see when the squad is named, but I'm sure you saw Orgil versus Honduras. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Warren Porter says, trust me, I always watch you on YouTube bit, first catching you live, and the next thing you would be good as a director on the JFF board. Well, I appreciate your encouragement, sir. Thank you very much. Anything about the Germany players that you talk about? Nothing new where that is concerned. No, nothing new. Yeah, I should follow up on that. I'll find out what's happening. Simon, you should make a video on players you want to see for the UK-based camp. I will give that some consideration. Thank you very much. Hopefully that camp happens. Well, England has gone from 60,000 cases a day to 22,000 cases a day in the space of 4 weeks. So that's progress in itself, but England still has some distance to go. I think their current lockdown ends in the middle of February. Vaccinations, still some work to be done there as well. So we'll see. We shall see. Is Ollie Watkins with roots? Yes, his mother. Yeah. Any news on Seaton? I know he's in German 3rd Division. Well, he's on a 1-year deal, and no updates as yet where contract is concerned with Michael Seaton. I'm happy you went to Europe, though, instead of staying USL. So, long may that continue where he settles and works hard in Europe, you know? Long may that continue. The program needs to be longer, Simon, please. And anything on Ivan Toney? No, nothing at all. Emil Smith-Rowe? Well, I think we're being quite overly optimistic with Emil Smith-Rowe. Yes, he's in the England youth setup right now, but yes, Emil Smith-Rowe has a grandparent that was born in Jamaica, so that's how he qualifies to play for Jamaica. Is he interested? I honestly am not sure, but Emil Smith-Rowe has Jamaican heritage. I can confirm that 110%. Yeah, so it's a wide, wide world out there. We Jamaicans left our mark in England from the 1960s and even 50s. not only in a cricketing sense, but build the Lancashire and Yorkshire railway system down in London, ancillary staff work in the Midlands, in the markets. Jamaicans played a massive part in making England where England is right now. Massive part. You can't forget the other Caribbean islands, but the bulk of the people from the Caribbean that went to England came from Jamaica. And that is why today their grandchildren and their great grandchildren are those individuals playing professional football right now and eligible, well, the grandchildren are eligible to represent Jamaica right now. Yeah. I don't know what the next 3 generations is going to be like from now, because not as much Jamaicans are leaving to go to England like it was once upon a time, or a couple of decades ago. But still, we'll still have quality. We'll still have quality in England. And like I've always said, the best team, the absolute best team, should take the field. That is what I believe. The absolute best team should take the field. The best team. The best set of players. If it means it's Andre Blake and 10 UK lads in front of him, then so be it. Because the best team needs to take the field. Be a Blessing says Blake needs to go over to Europe. He does. He absolutely does. 30, approaching his peak. He needs to go to Europe. That is what he needs to do. Jamaicans are heading to the USA, which might be better with the emergence of talent from the US. It gives our players playing time, that's for sure. Simon, I know you said you can do anything more, but I think you should speak to Roy again about Hayden. Sound Beast official, let me tell you something. I don't believe in life that I should force somebody to do something. I can remind somebody to do something. I can remind someone of something. But I will never force somebody to do something what they don't want to do. Put them in an uncomfortable scenario. I know what this player means to the national setup. And I know what it means. And hopefully they do as well. Because our greatest concern is holding midfield. That's the only portion on the field that I'm concerned about. Centre half, wing back, centre forwards, wide men. I'm good with all that. Yes, we saw angling against Saudi Arabia. But still, Hayden would be a valuable addition. What is preventing Blake from going to Europe? The right opportunity. The right opportunity is preventing him from heading towards Europe. And that's the reality of the situation. So, we hope and pray. Alright guys, I'm going to head over to Instagram. I'm going to head over to Instagram right now, okay? So, head over to Instagram right now and answer some of your questions there, alright guys? So, we'll be in touch. Thanks for tuning into Reggae Boyz commentary, and stay tuned for more. Thank you very much for all your support, and don't forget to subscribe to Reggae Boyz commentary as well. 7,100 subscribers and growing. Thank you very much for your support, guys. Stay safe.